Welcome to Netball SA Stadium, where the pink is flooding in once again. Never mind the fact that it's a Wednesday night, it is school holidays, and there are plenty of families here to watch the Adelaide Thunderbirds. A crucial game in the development of the season for both sides, Matty Brown, because the T-Birds, they need momentum to go on the road, and the Swifts, well, they need momentum to go on the road to Perth after this one, and stringing a win together here, a couple of wins for the Swifts, is going to be crucial.
Look, it's third versus fifth on the ladder, and I'm sure every team just wants to keep chipping away, getting themselves a little bit closer to the top. We obviously see that Thunderbirds lining up very similar to as we have seen in rounds 1 and 2, where the Swifts are starting with young gun Sophie Fawns. She's rewarded for that really strong performance last week. And we also see the dynamic defensive duo of Turner and Clow back together. So I think they're going to want to set their intent really early and hopefully get a nice lead out at the start.
Speaking of defensive duos, there is Latanya Wilson about to sit down, and there is Shamira Sterling, and the two Jamaicans have been working so well together. Wilson this time starts off the bench, and Matilda Garrett starts in goal defence, and she really made a difference too when she came on. And we're about to get things underway here, T-Birds and Swift, as we round out round 4, the first of the 2 midweek rounds. And we start with the Thunderbirds high over the top to Potgieter. We talked about previously, as we were getting ready for this game, the need for Lenise Potgieter to shoot more shots.
She is. She's averaging about that mid-30s, and that's probably more of a goal attack. Nearly a close one there. That's a goal attack amount so she should be really adding, or trying to get up to about that 40. If you're a standalone goal shooter and you really want to kind of stamp your authority, you need to be delivering about those 10 plus goals a quarter.
I suppose the Thunderbirds have been flattered by their high quality defensive combinations and being able to keep teams, to maybe 10 or 12 goals a quarter, which has covered up to an extent their inability to score that 17 to 20 goals a quarter, which you're seeing some of the great teams like Firebirds and Fever and Vixens do. There's a nice feed in there to Helen Housby, opens the account for the Swifts. But they came into that game against the Sunshine Coast on the weekend, having scored less than the Sunshine Coast in both games, but still won both games.
Absolutely, and the thing is, in their defence, they're getting 20 gains a game from Shamira Sterling. 15 she nearly racks up every time. So they need to capitalise on that, whether that's a 2 or 1 point. You need to make that score count every time you get that ball in your hands.
Maddie Proud, 54 feeds the other nights, and she'll be thinking in the back of her mind, gee, I got left out of the quad series. I've been part of the Diamonds extended squad. Probably a good time to start hitting those numbers.
54 feeds is huge, but 37 were to goal assists, and that was a record in the competition. So she had a standout the other week, and I'm sure she'll want to replicate it here tonight.
No doubt. There is a packed mid-court for the Diamonds. There's about 15 people lining up that could play at the upcoming Commonwealth Games, where we will see Lenise Potgieter. They go up 3-2. Of course, she's a Protea. She's played in the UK and New Zealand as well. So much experience, only 27 years of age. Turner looks long and ends up going to Proud. 2 Adelaide girls originally. Now for the Swifts. Nice change of direction, and Fawns takes the middle position, and that is a nice settler for the 18-year-old from Wagga Wagga.
Great swing ball there from Hadley, right to the top, popping open, delivering. That's really strong play from the Swifts early on.
Fair few high balls being thrown. We saw Adelaide punished for that against the Lightning. From time to time, very scrappy game as Dwan gets her first.
But if you've got that confidence to let it go, and there's such a strong target in Potgieter right there, why not? Unlucky breaking call there for Proud.
Shani Norda is sashaying down the sidelines tonight for us here on Fox Netball as we see a turnover into the hands of Paige Hadley. And Shani, you've got your eyes on the defensive zones of the Thunderbirds.
I do. The Thunderbirds have started this season with some really great defensive zones. You can see that they stand off their player to try and force that high ball so that Shamira can come through for the intercepts. But what I'm loving the most about this game so far is just this intensity and intent. But Maddie talked about pre-game. We don't want to see the Thunderbirds throwing balls away, and both teams have already thrown one away so far. So hopefully that tightens up as the game goes on.
Defensive rebound for Sterling off a shot from Housby. Thanks, Shani. but there does seem to be a little bit more intent as Proud manages to get a hand on one. Beautiful feed in to Fawns from Hadley. 1-2 for better position, and quite a bit too long.
And it was a telegraphed pass. She was always looking for Petty. She wasn't looking anywhere else. We talk about this with youngsters. It's about squaring up those shoulders, looking down the court. Be a threat. Try and get it down there as quick as you can.
I think I speak for everyone. I'm a fan of your analysis of these games. It really brings a lot to the telecast.
Contact, yes.
Not to leave out Shani.
She brings a lot.
But
a lot of noise.
Yep, the commentary team bringing good insights. A lot of fantastic ex-players, all diamonds just about, as we bring you what is shaping up to be a fantastic season of Super Netball ahead of the Commonwealth Games. 5-4 the T-Birds. Nearly 5 gone in this one, and there looks to be a little bit more urgency in this game than when we sat down here 3 days ago.
There's a lot of out of play, though. I'd love to see that pressure building from both ends in the defence. Little hands in, getting caught on the body. Start to move those feet and try and have a bit more of that pressure building and get those turnovers to try and create those gains.
Housby from distance, just sneaks it in. All locked up, 5 gone. Gorgeous, Dwan lets it go immediately.
Pogita getting caught on the body.
Goal shooter, come beside her and return the ball next time. Come right beside her.
A little bit of attitude there in the goal circle. I'm all for it.
Hadley. Lovely long ball. Housby all by herself. Lets it go.
Fawn's not phased at all by the long arms of Garrett or Sterling just yet. She's got that really nice quick release of a shot, turn, look, back herself in with lots of confidence.
Fawns proud as they look short.
She's holding really strong front position, which is kind of hard getting it into Sterling's game, not bringing it up to the air. They need to keep it short and sharp. And as we mentioned, Sterling loves to get her hands on the ball early. So if you can kind of, keep it out of there for the first couple of quarters, she might start to second guess her game plan and go a bit missing.
The Lightning did that for periods of that game on Sunday, and that did keep them in it. She was a lot quieter, Sterling, than she was in round 2. As the T-Birds pull to within 1. There you go, taking every opportunity. The Thunderbirds at the moment. Sophie Fawns has missed one, as has Helen Housby.
Very attacking game at the moment, just going from score to score. We haven't seen any real great intercepts or creative play there, so hopefully we can start to see a little bit more strategy happening in the defence ends.
The game, no doubt, will free up a little bit, and that'll play right into Shani Norda's hands. Shani, how are you seeing the first 5 or 10 of this one?
Yeah, as I said, very attacking. So from the Thunderbirds' point of view, they're turning the ball over because all their leads are really straight and long. There's no preliminary moves, so they're not losing the defender before they go. But hey, when you got Hattie Petty getting turnovers like that, I guess you can afford to. So I'd like to see them change direction, lose the defender before they then go for the next ball. But Swifts have been previously to that turnover, really seeing space a lot better and being able to find that space to lose the Adelaide defenders.
Thanks, Shani. And there is the Harvey Norman replay with Hannah Petty getting the front position and scooping it in. The captain. Long goes Proud, high goes Dwan. Oh, sorry, not Dwan. Fawns. Fawns, Dwan. Oh, wow, Sterling, the timing required for that. Proud tries to clean up, can't do it. Can do it.
Tanya Ops is livid at that call.
Well, there's justice for Tanya Ops. Ball turnover.
But it's in a contact.
Very good pass there. Good vision to find Potketer. 3rd year with the Thunderbirds, and the connections are there.
Yep.
And as Shani was saying, the Thunderbirds were getting a few of those mistakes coming in because they were feeding a lot off the circle. Great timing there by Shamira Sterling. That's her bread and butter. And when they can, as we said, capitalise on those nice gains and turnovers, that's only going to put the pressure back on your opponents. But T-Birds being really patient here with the ball, working it to the circle edge, trying to get a little bit close for a percentage shot.
In the one. Step forward, got a fence beside her.
Look too short, straight out of the hands. And finally, a mistake up the attacking end from the T-Birds. Smith, Turner, Proud. These are names, I suppose, Hadley, that you just almost say together automatically. They've been together for so long. At the Swifts is high. Goes Garrett, and eventually she's going to come up with it, yes.
Great work, Matilda Garrett. And sometimes with those plays, you just got to let the umpires make the call. Some people might have been like, oh, is it going to be a replay? Just keep playing it out until that whistle blows.
Centre contact.
Some questionable close passes there.
Come around, hold a fence. Hold a fence. Come around here.
It's very stop and
Step forward,
start.
hold a fence. Step forward,
Not a lot
play.
of momentum being able to build or some flow in the game plan.
Low scoring quarter so far as we ease our way into the Power 5. So the super shot now in action. We saw some excellent ones from Riley Batcheldor at the back end of the Sunshine Coast game. Left it too late, though. The Magpies getting up, if you missed it, on Fox Netball. As, well, Lenise Podgieter is good for one super shot a game. She had one, well, a season, sorry. She had one last season. She had one on Sunday. She's done. One and done. So she'll stay exactly there as the HCF timeout comes, and we find the Thunderbirds with one goal to the good. We're going to listen into the Thunderbirds and Tanya Obst and see what she has to say.
Excellent commitment to those rebounds, both ends. Well done. Keep that up. We know that we just got to keep putting our body on the line because unsure what's going to happen. But Lenny, just keep just keep light feet down that end. Yeah. Penalties, Tipper, where is she? Penalties in the 2-point, bit different, but penalties, I reckon, when you've got it in that area. Well, I reckon because Lenny's away, you can step in and then let's see what the defender does. Do you know, if it's from distance, one, if they come, we can go over, or then you've got the first chance for a rebound or get the ball. Great work. Excellent work. Remember, non-sexy passing. Yeah?
Let's go. 2 words and a
Yeah, you coming straight to me?
3 first set of passes. What are we doing first? Let's go. Let's go. Go again. T-Birds on 3. 1, 2, 3. T-Birds. Let's go.
Non-sexy passing, that's what it's all about. That's what I picked up from that, as we're going to, in a second, I can see Shani Norder getting back into position, getting off the court. You're retired now, Shani. Let it go.
But I really want to play, Will. Just let me play.
I know you do.
You're right. I was right in there at the Swifts huddle, and Coach Bryony pulled Sophie Fawns aside, and she said, Soph, I need you to keep moving. If you stand still, then Shamira will fly everywhere. So she really wants her to hold her accountable. And then in the defensive end, they're really going to try to stick it tight one-on-one and get a few held balls is the aim of the rest of this quarter.
Thanks, Shani. I bet you did get right in there too, as Sterling comes up with another loose ball on the ground. The bump from Proud.
It was a little dangerous. There wasn't much room for landing. Garrett just keeps it in. Twinkle toes.
And she was very close to the line there as the ball floats past everybody.
Inside.
T-Birds retain possession as Dwan looks for an option. Nankivell provides.
And Tanya Obst asked Lenise Podgieter, light feet in that circle. She said you need to get off the body, make sure that you're moving your feet, you're not getting caught on it as she just gets another attacking call. She's going to have to be mindful of that, depending on whether there's an umpire end that is umpiring slightly different to that body contest.
Pressing defence, though, from the T-Birds off that restart, and Ali Smith wears the brunt of it.
Come beside the goal attack. Goal shooter obstruction.
9-8, 3 to go. Super shot in effect in the power 5. Into the pocket goes Fawns. And the hand, and Shamira Sterling ends up in our commentary position. Well, up close and personal.
Wow. I think my life just flashed before my eyes.
And that's you, just right there. Yep, Shamira Sterling just vaulting the table.
Well,
I'm just going to take a moment. Helen Housby calms things down. And we are locked up once again. 2.5 to go. Well, if you're watching this on TV, you've never been to a game, get to a Suncorp Super Netball game, because the athleticism, I know I was closer than maybe you would be if you came.
All I saw was arms and legs, and that was it. I just didn't know what was happening.
I was using you as a human shield. 9-all, 2 to go in the quarter.
Explains everything about
middle
you,
channel. Yep, it does. Circle edge. Fawns does provide the option. And this is the first super shot attempt, and Helen Housby nails it. She likes it too. She's got the game face on, and the Swifts go up by 2 and retain possession off the centre pass. Unfortunate. Petty. Garrett. See her in the start this week. She didn't get tons of minutes last Sunday. And Hadley picks up an easy intercept.
That miscommunication down the T-Birds end, and it's because there's like one lead, there's not multiple leads trying to create something, not only for themselves but for the other people in their team. So they just needed to be a little bit more active, creating those opportunities to get the ball down.
On the other hand, good patience from the Swifts. Tons of passes to get down to here. And low ball right on the edge of super shot zone. She's going to get another attempt and take it and nail it. And again, 2 in a row for Helen Housby. Suncorp super shot. And that has drawn another HCF timeout. Tanya Olbs does not like that. And suddenly the Swifts are 4 to the good. And that's what the super shot can do. It's been such a close quarter. You could barely separate the teams. But on the scoreboard, it's 4 goals.
Correct.
What we're doing, all right? That baseline run, if that pass is around the top, we probably, and you know that one where we went across there? If Tipper runs baseline, you have to come forward. You know the one you got picked up on Maddie Turner? So if Tipper runs base, you need to come forward. If you go forward, then you've got base. We were both leading flat, and that's how we got it. If you come forward, you might have got the penalty. All right? Okay.
Good way, guys.
Hey, let's hit the
Hey, we go out. We go out hard for a minute here, all right?
Last minute. Get organised, girls. Let the ball do the movement.
Yeah, that's it. What's
Alright.
gonna pass?
Go back door.
Yeah, good one. Let's go. T-Birds on 3. 1, 2, 3.
T-Birds,
Let's go.
You'd probably think it's a bit of a weird call to call a timeout with 1 minute to go. But in this game,
Yep, 100%.
4 goals can be 6 to 8, and that could be the game. So a wise call to just rein it all in. Let's get back to what we need to do. Hit it hard for 1 minute and try and bring it back to be in this contest.
The power play is calling an HCF timeout when there's 1 minute left in the game and you're down by 26. That's a real power play, that is. Going out swinging. We've seen it before. 53 seconds to go in the opening quarter here at Netball SA Stadium. Round 4, we're out of the opening rounds. We're really starting to see the ladder take shape. And every game crucial now, of course, coming up with another round on the weekend. The netball doesn't stop. Centre Circle as well, coming up tomorrow night from 6 Eastern time.
With the keeper, with the keeper.
On the show alongside Hannah Hollis is Amy Parmenter, and no doubt she'll have some questions to answer about where the Giants are at right now. Fell away last night at Ken Rosewall Arena. Proud. Housby, 20 seconds on the clock. Can they restore the 4-goal buffer? Might be 5 if Housby wants a shot.
Inside, pass only.
8 seconds. Housby needs to think about shooting this. She does from exactly the same position. Not this time. And Fawns can't pick it up. So 3 goals in the end to the good. Helen Housby the difference at the back end of that quarter, and a really interesting one as well. The end of round 4 here from Netball SA Stadium. Thanks to Origin Energy as we move into the second quarter, and we've seen so many teams fall apart in the second quarter of games early in the season as Hannah Petty nearly goes out. Dwan short back and forth to Horges. Has to use all her 3 seconds there, and Latanya Wilson is on at goal defence, so the Jamaican connection there, and they let it go to Potgieter.
So that mismatch, obviously Cloud came out and Turner came back onto Gita. The second that happens, T-Birds need to expose it and let it go.
Proud to Fawns. It seems like every week she comes up against an international level goalkeeper, but that is the level of Suncorp Super Netball. Wilson now really worked herself into the game last Sunday. Nice feed again.
Now
discussion between Clow and Turner there.
Yeah, now they've got that confidence. We'll see how many they can get in straight away to Potgieter.
So 2 goals and the centre pass to start the second quarter for the home side. Dwan has to throw back to Wilson and they reset. Pocket to Dwan. Swift's defence working overtime, taking up that middle space nicely, and it's Dwan that has the shot, put off by Clow. There's a little look at the umpire there, Sarah Clow, got away with that.
But it's trying to take all offence, centre third.
Really had a chance to start well there. If they could have gone 3 in a row, would have taken some nice momentum in the middle part of this quarter.
Budget obstruction offside wing.
They're really shutting down Sophie Fawns. They've obviously done their homework on how dominant she was against the Magpies. Trying to shut down her getting the ball, having any impact on the game just yet. They're those long leads from Georgie Horges that Shani was talking about in the first quarter. Just go up, create some space up high, drop back low.
Clow again, throws the hand out, immaculate timing. After the first quarter, through the hands of Housby, who was flying at it, picked up by Sterling.
It's been scrappy already in these first couple of minutes.
Probably some fatigue in that. Been a frenetic start to the Super Netball season. Of course, these teams coming off a 3-day turnaround. An extra day for the Swifts, but they did have to travel down here and they're off to Perth after this for the round 5 clash. Interesting that, you know, obviously Bryony Akel keeps that in mind. After the first quarter on Saturday, only 2 players were still in their original positions, but now everything's the same as we look at the Nissan net points, and it's pretty evenly spread across the 2 teams, with Shamira Sterling on 28 by virtue of a couple of rebounds, intercept in there as well. Proud, circle edge, and Petty saw that coming and kissed the pine for her troubles.
It's starting to get a little bit heated. What we can probably see on the court side here is there's a few facial expressions being pulled. There's a lot of bodies hitting a little bit harder as we see Hannah Petty hit the deck, but gets up and kind of gives a little bit of a shrug of the shoulder.
Clow comes out hard then, and off the split. Potgieter, but you're right, there's just a couple of little niggles. I mean, there's so many in every Super Netball game, but you can see that there's a little, just tiny bit of desperation around this, because we've seen a lot of teams sort of go level pegging for the first quarter, and then one team blinks in the second quarter and never makes it back. Which team is that going to be? Of course, on this court 72 hours ago, neither team did. Neither team could run away with it as we head down to Shani Norder. And Shani, like we're talking about a little bit of niggle, a little bit of desperation, and Am I right in thinking that you want the players to settle down? Because that is a very hypocritical.
It is very hypocritical and much easier for me to say on the sideline. But no, you know, it's not about settling down, but it's about having smart options and being frenetic in your actions, but not your mind. So, you know, we heard Maddie say earlier that you need to have both shoulders facing down the court to see all your options. At the moment, because they're stressed, they can only see one option and they're forcing it rather than picking the best option, which definitely wasn't Sophie Dwan then, but a huge great intercept there from the goal defence, which was fantastic. So for me, I just want to see better decision-making. Keep your movements crazy, hectic, as frenetic as you like, but just make some better decisions and come off the body because there's just a few too many flying around on the floor at the moment.
Lovely shot from distance for Dwan. Keep frenetic in your bodies. We see the Harvey Norman replay from Latanya Wilson, but not in your mind. See, Shani, I told her she was deeper than she gives herself credit for before the match, and there you go, a little bit of Norda philosophy. Clow contesting that one, circle edge, but she's getting into the game.
It's all of these angles that they are actually leading away from the ball, which is giving the defender a really good angle to contest. Like we were saying, do that work early, but also go backwards to come forward and create some space. A lot of the attackers are actually doing the work where they want to receive it. Argy Bargy.
A little bit of shirt fronting there from Maddie Turner and Lenise Potgieter. Might come up against each other in Birmingham.
Step forward. With the wing defend. Wing defend. Set it with the wing defend.
Maddie Proud scored 94 Nissan net points on Saturday. She's on minus half a point at the moment. Housby from in front, and again, Sterling times it perfectly. Doesn't get the benefit though.
Outside.
It's a real scrappy game, but sometimes this can be a test of a true team. Great rebound by Sterling. Sometimes you've got to learn how to win ugly. It can't always be the sexy passes. Well, sometimes you have to grind.
Non-sexy passes,
Yeah.
not partners, not non-sexy partners. We don't advocate for that at all. Non-sexy passes.
But you just got to grind it out. Both teams are struggling to just find their groove tonight.
I think we said the same thing 3 days ago as we see the Harvey Norman replay again, and Sterling, there's just patches, there is patches of his individual brilliance, which is seeing the ebbs and flows as we see another HCF timeout with 8 to go in the second quarter, rather than that one team getting in the flow and then breaking away. It's more, okay, one team, then the other team manages a little bit of brilliance. We'll head in now and listen to Bryony Akel and what she has to say.
Does that make sense? So even if we have someone to do the work out here, get Helen on the move. Yeah, short, sharp. And just stay, if you get it free and you pass it to her, get it back. Like short, but turn fully all the way down, look in, use our fakes. I feel like we're just fixated on not using the ball. Use the ball. Let's go wide on a few centre passes. Start wide, punch middle. Yeah? Helen, lots of movement in that circle. Draw her up and back, lots of angles. Yeah, every time. That last drive is beautiful. Helen, let's screen in there. All right, let's go, guys.
Let's go.
You celebrate the small stuff. It's very, very quiet, and we're waiting for someone else to do the work. Just take a breath, get out there and just do your job. Your job, and then worry about it.
Let's go. Oh, sweat.
Coach Tanya Obst, very impressed with her team. They've been using that mismatch in the circle to try and get Turner on Potgieter, so continue to look out for that. And she just wants them to continue keeping those drives coming forward to stop throwing that ball away right on cue. Didn't work. Better luck next time.
Good wrap up there at the end from Norda.
Shani, let's hope you don't go into coaching anytime soon.
Well, she seems to get it spot on. On cue, as always. Turner, Clow, and they switch and they stay patient, and Dwan doesn't like that. Goes in early. But another low-scoring affair. It seems to be part of the T-Birds' DNA at the moment, but it's not working too badly.
Swifts, on the other hand, have had the injection of Singleton come into the game. We've seen Fawns go to the bench. And Coach Barney-Aker was saying, I just want to see you work the short, turn, look in. We were talking about those square of the shoulders. She asked them, turn to the post, threaten that you're going to pass it in there, and use the box. Be more creative. Don't just see it and give it. Let's get the defenders off it, and so we're not in a contest all the time.
Singleton didn't get big minutes on the weekend, so she's a little fresher. She did hit 4 from 4 in the time she had on there and picked up 10 centre pass receives. As nice mid-range shot there from Helen Housby. There is Singleton on screen, making the most of her opportunities in 2022. Dwan. Again, that little interplay between herself and the teenager, Georgie Horges, who continues to impress as high the ball goes and splits the defenders.
It was great play, obviously, there by Dwan, but sometimes we need that goal attack to just get in the circle, draw those defenders and leave that space out at the front for the attackers to try and hit the circle. They're getting a little bit clogged, so getting her in a little bit early would be excellent.
Potgieter still not putting up the shots that I guess we need to see, or we'd like to see. She's had 14 attempts. She's sunk 13 of those.
And that's a battle, Housby versus Sterling. I think we all were hoping to see at some point. Be interesting to see how she handles the Sterling body pressure, but also hands over.
I was going to say she just needs to pound Sterling, but that's a bit of a finance joke. I don't know if it's going to fly in this setting. Housby, proud. She goes for her 16th attempt of the evening here. And again, Sterling times it well. You don't see that very often, but you see it from Shamira Sterling once every 5 minutes.
She's incredible. Her timing to kind of put that hedge in and make the goalers second guess their timing on their shot and get out of their rhythm and flow in taking it.
Just second guessing as again, it sneaks up on you, the power 5. It's time, and we saw Helen Housby harvest a couple of Suncorp super shots. And here is Sterling again. She just reads it. Was it you that said, look at the elbow? Look at the elbow if you want to time that correctly. Was that you? Was that one of your little
No,
pearls
I'm
of
not
wisdom?
a shooter. I can't take credit for that. But
I'm sure you would have stolen it from somebody else.
I'd love to take it.
No, you're right. It was Laura Geitz. Look at the elbow, and then you'll know when to time it. Well, next time. Except when you've got arms like Shamira Sterling, look anywhere you want.
Look, I'm pretty sure any goal can't look at the elbow unless they're trying to look at the ring. They can, they're talented.
Again. Another one from the Swifts. They're up by 2. Nankivell high in the backspace for Potgieter. Drawing the penalty again.
They're looking for that 2-point shot.
Or, of course, not. They have the opportunity to do so.
They were trying to work the ball in and out and get her in that zone. But at the end of the day, just ticking away at that scoreline, she's obviously not confident enough to shoot it just yet, Dwan. Hopefully she'll fire up soon.
Proud. Gets a tip, Petty. Gets a tip, Petty again.
She's everywhere. Thunderbirds are doing really well in trying to get that ball lifted. Swifts need to keep it on the floor. Oh, we see the elevation lift. It's that jump from Sterling, from Wilson. It's disrupting Housby's flow.
3 minutes in this half. And then we've got 2 quarters of round 4 left as the Suncorp Super Netball season begins to unfold in earnest. And another possession now for the Swifts and a chance to go at least 2 clear. And they do. Housby with her 14th from 20 attempts, so her percentage not where she would like it to be and not where it usually is. Nankerville to her captain as they head down the left-hand channel. Create space, and the super shot coming from Dwan way too long. It's a real tactical decision when to attempt a super shot. I don't know when the game's this close whether it's necessary to do, because, I mean, if you're not shooting them at 50%, you're losing out. Now it's Paige Hadley's on top as the Nissan net point, so she's had a strong second quarter as Wilson nearly gets a hand on one again. She's been close a couple of times. As I said, she likes to work her way into these games.
Last week we saw her obviously start. I think she's shown that she's such a great impact player. When she comes on, she really starts to disrupt the attack end, making them second-guess themselves. Housby with the super shot, though.
Another Suncorp super shot. She's found herself right on the edge of that white zone you can see on the court. Probably about, I'd say, half a dozen times now, and it's paid off for her 4 times. Swift's turnover again. Plenty of turnovers in this one.
Proud trying to drive down the court because the passes are going really laterally. So they need to create some depth. Get it down. 23
turnovers so far in this match, and only 8 goals from those turnovers. So neither team really converting like they should be. Maybe getting a little bit panicked when they manage to come up with the ball and see an opportunity. And then you can see now it's gone to 9 with that, and we could have another super shot. No, we go to Dwan, and it's long to Nankerville, and the Hail Mary comes, and it's going to be Singleton that picks it up as the Swifts head down court with under 20 seconds to go. 3 to the good at the end of quarter time. Are they going to make it more? 10 seconds on the clock. Can they win this quarter? It's 10 goals apiece at this point. Has to shoot now, Housby. She does, and it doesn't land. So, 10 goals apiece for the quarter, 10 goals in each quarter for the Thunderbirds, but those couple of late super shots at the end of the first quarter was enough for the Swifts to create the gap. And slightly bemused crowd here at Netball SA Stadium. I don't know if they really know what they're watching. Are they watching a team marching to victory, or are they watching one that's struggling with scrappiness? Brian Yankel there. I do say that to all the coaches, though. You know, not specifically the Swifts coach. Hadley now. And on comes Taylor Fraser.
You got to love that from a coach, though, like positivity, even though the game isn't going the way that they planned or probably they hoped, and not putting that consecutive really good match play together. You still see her saying, I'm really proud of what her players are being able to do under such situations, and it is about that grinding it out and playing ugly sometimes and winning under that.
Georgie Horges has moved into goal attack, El McDonald wing attack, and again, there's some versatility. Every single mid-court player, I guess when you go all the way from goal defence to goal attack, can play multiple positions for the T-Birds. So it's a double-edged sword, though. You get that right, it can mix up a team to your advantage, but it can also stymie the flow.
It can, and it can be great to, as you said, keep the opposition guessing, but does it also keep you guessing as to who am I combining with? What are our little strengths, our little idiosyncrasies that we work really well together? So, yeah, hopefully both teams can settle a little bit and we can see some of that momentum just flow from side to side.
Some of the newer names in the Swifts out there: Fraser, Singleton, Ali Smith still out there in wing defence. As Maddie Proud sits out. Proud 22 feeds, 10 centre pass receives, 9 assists, 8 missing net points.
It's what can happen when you have a standout the game before and have 37 goal assists, and you might not be quite hitting those targets today. But as Bryony did say...
Not that kind of game, though, is it?
No, it's not. They're not getting those opportunities.
Short, Hadley. Swifts stay patient and go low through Singleton. Nice settler for her to start off. 3 from 3 now, Singleton, as the Swifts suddenly find themselves out by a very handy 6 goals. Always strikes me how quiet it gets in here when the opposition team gets on a run. And Clow has been threatening that and pulls it off, and they stream down court, the reigning premiers. Hadley switches up channels.
Taylor Fraser is a great addition into their attack end. She just brings on a little bit of extra speed. She's obviously hard onto the ball, but she also brings that defensive pressure out from the attack end as well.
Hasby with goal number 17 of 24. And already we see an HCF timeout 3 minutes into the third quarter, and that is because the Swifts have gone on quite the run and the Thunderbirds are on the donut for this quarter so far. So, like I said, there seems to be always a quarter where one team blinks. Could that be it? And that is why we're hearing from Tanya Robst right now that she's called the timeout.
Butting up on that girl because they can pick you up. So we want that movement, all right? Now, does she dodge? She drops back. Yeah, Ali drops back when you get that, when she drops sags back, when the ball's here. So you can double play yourself on, all right? And that's, I just think we can hold it a little bit more. George is coming. We just need that little bit, hold it a little bit more because George is coming, all right?
That last one.
Yes, yeah. All right. Okay, is it our centre?
Yes.
Yes, it is. All right. Okay, so what are we doing? Talk it up.
Let's go. Excellent. Let's go. Right, we're jigging around. Yeah, let's look at those. Zebras, let's go. 1, 2, 3. Zebras, let's go.
7 goals it is. There's the Nissa net points. And up the top once again. It seems to be a 2-horse race between Shamira Sterling and Paige Hadley. And on 0 Nissa net points, because she's not playing, is Shani Norder, who's sitting on the sideline to her own chagrin. Shani, how are you seeing the first few minutes of the second half?
Well, obviously a lot more composure from the Swifties, which is what we like. And they're just honouring the lead. So what I mean by that, if someone's there, they're giving the ball. It doesn't have to be pretty, but if someone's open, they let it go. Whereas at the moment, the Thunderbirds, they're just holding on to it. That first option goes, and then there's no one there to get that next pass, which allows the Swifts to come through for that intercept.
Thanks, Shani. There are the T-Birds currently on court. Garrett's back on in goal defence alongside Sterling. Well, a bit of a miscommunication there from Georgie Horgis.
They all just seem, the T-Birds seem to be a little bit flat-footed. Someone needs to just come on and spike a little bit more energy in the team. So
Who is that? Who's that going to be?
I'd like to see Taylor Williams come on into the centre just to give a little bit more of a link between that defence and attacking. They're a little bit stagnant, as I said. Al McDonald was so... Comes up with the goods. Al McDonald was awesome at wing attack last week, really dynamic. Would love to continue to have seen her there, but she's obviously been put back into the centre.
There is Taylor on her birthday, no less, 22 years of age. Taylor Williams standing up, trying to pump her team up, and here is the Harvey Norman replay, and Shamira Sterling with those go-go gadget arms rakes in another one. I'll show my age there with Inspector Gadget. That was the 80s. Housby, despite all the attention of Sterling, and they have a little smile about it. 8 goals all of a sudden here at Netball SA Stadium. Garrett, McDonald fires one across channels.
Advantage contacting defence.
And this stagnant start from the T-Birds is probably coming from the defensive pressure that the Swifts are putting on. They're setting a really strong wall on the centre pass. The attackers are flooding down and even putting pressure to try and send them back and make them work multiple passes to that circle edge.
Looking for that spark. Latanya Wilson's back on at goal defence. Still 8 goals. Tanya Robst asked for non-sexy passes. Have the passes been too sexy?
No.
No? Because that's not the problem?
No. I think it's more there's not enough options to deliver those non-sexy passes. Doing a bit more work as we're just seeing one option only to the ball.
Potgieter had 20 attempts in the first half, hit 18 of them, picks up goal number 19. Fraser, Turner, Hadley, waits for the option. It's too much for Singleton. Shot a couple of errors since she came on. It's away with it though.
Yeah, she definitely does spark that defence end. She always gets her hands on the ball the second she comes on.
Wasn't ready for that, caught flat-footed. Shani Norda, a comment from you?
Yes, so for me, you can just see the difference in the culture of the teams at the moment. Swifts, last year's grand finalists, they know how to win. They're going to grind away, and even if they're down, they still just keep fighting. Whereas the Thunderbirds, as Maddie said, they've just lost that bit of energy, but they just need to believe in themselves. They need to dig deep, and if they really want to change the course of where they've been the last couple of years, this is where they need to be able to do that.
Yeah, just about every player in red out on court has a premiership in their back pocket as Turner gets one, but Wilson cleans up. And I guess that gives you this, I don't know, just inner belief that you can pull it out when you need to pull it out because they've done it before and they've done it on the biggest stage.
And it's a different position for the T-Birds to be in for all 3 games leading into this. They've been leading till 3/4 time, so they've been in chase mode pretty much from the very beginning. So it's about trying to find those ways and those types of little strategies, and having these experiences is good. It helps you learn about your teammates, what you do individually, what you do as a collective, and how you can get yourself out of these ruts, not just calling timeouts, but during the play as well.
Certainly something to be said for how quickly the Swifts have settled into winning games again after Sam Wallace, because, you know, we all knew how much of their game is based around Wallace, but they've found a different way to play, and it's taken a game or two, but then they picked up the win against the Pies, and they're showing their class here in the 3rd quarter. They now lead, well, the lead's been cut to 5. They're still 7-5 up in this quarter, though. And Singleton will need this one for confidence sake. Doesn't make a mistake.
They had to work a lot harder for that shot, the Swifts. They had to be nice and patient, but they do have that experience to be able to walk that ball around, have those options come towards them. Here's this zone that I was talking about. They're sitting up high. They're trying to make them go lateral, push them into the corners, get that ball elevated. So the sitting middle is shutting down that middle channel, which is like hot property where to feed. So if you can force attackers wide and bring those goalers out, you're going to have a better chance of trying to disrupt the play, maybe get them a little bit off guard and trying to throw a fly one here and there.
I feel like you should be taking notes when you start doing that.
You should. Yeah. Show me some more respect, Paul.
I'll just go back and memorise everything on the replay on Kayo and Fox. Tip over the top to McDonald, out of play.
You can hear the crowd. I think they're going to try and be that little spark for the T-Birds. They're getting a little bit louder, trying to create that pressure for the defenders.
Time for Singleton to shut that down, and she can't do it, and you can hear that. Just need a little sniff, a little bit of chin music there between Sterling and Singleton. Just a little kiss. Nothing major.
It's like getting a rush of blood and going, oh, we've got the ball and let's try and get it down quickly.
Yeah, yeah.
You just need to, oh, Hannah Petty again.
Petty
she
and Wilson.
To get that back.
The teammates there arguing over the stat. Doesn't matter. T-Birds have come up with it. 5 goals. And Horges from range. She is going to shoot. And who comes up with the rebound?
Gita gets it, but she wasn't really getting off the ground there. Jump up, really own that rebound.
Now we're at 4. The deficit cut in half, and it's going to be more. And suddenly a little run from the T-Birds as they come back into this one. 3 goals. We're in super shot territory now in the Power 5. So Suncorp super shots as Wilson spends a second on the Swifts bench before coming back, and the Harvey Norman replay. And Wilson just coming out hard at the ball, attacking the ball in defence. Hadley, a settler now needed, and it was Nankivell, I think, that got a hand on it. No, McDonald, sorry. And again, McDonald does, and it's cleaned up by Sterling. She throws it in, and it's Petty that comes up with it, but the ball doesn't stay in. So those little things, those little moments that could spark this crowd and continue this T-Birds run, they need another one. Another one of those. Bring the crowd right into it and get on a run. 3 goals now, 4 minutes in the third quarter. Turner finds Fraser in space.
Oh, unlucky turnover there.
Sterling to her Jamaican teammate, Wilson.
That's better timing from the T-Birds. It's go. Sometimes they're finding that good drop back, Nankivell. Sometimes they're getting there a little bit too early and then just staying there, going give. You're not on. The defenders have covered it, so create that space up, drop back, get some depth.
Turner nearly comes up with one. Instead, it's going to be a 2-goal game. So nothing to split these teams since the opening quarter. And again, it was just a couple of super shots from Housby. So it's been incredibly even for 99% of this so far. And in the back of the minds of the T-Birds, I feel like the closer they get to the middle of the fourth quarter, the more they'll remember what happened 3 days ago. The turnaround hasn't been long.
Yep.
They got denied at home, and they'll be worried about that happening again.
For me, it's just a bit of indecisiveness in the moves from each team right now. They're second-guessing their drive, so then the person with the ball is second-guessing their delivery.
Housby too long. Sterling nearly comes up with it, but the ball goes out off Wilson. 2 Jamaican defenders scrapping over that one. Super shot time from Housby. Looked good out of the hand. Rebound comes, and the bump comes from Sterling again. Again, she dishes off to Singleton, who wasn't ready for it. Shows it, maybe just a lack of game time, as over the line goes Turner. Wow, the boos ring around because El McDonald and everybody else saw that. Doesn't matter, it's in the books.
Not happy.
Just over the line went Turner.
Time for the Swifts to respond here. Take that sting out. That little run and shift in momentum that the T-Birds have.
This could do it too. This could do it, and it does. Housby again, 4 from 4 super shots last week. 2 from 2 in the first half, and another Suncorp super shot now. And this is the time when the Thunderbirds allow themselves to get frustrated and the run evaporates. And we saw it a couple of times against the Lightning. They easily put off their game.
We haven't seen those 2 like Suncorp super shots by Dwan and Horges being in there just yet. They do have that up their sleeves, but as we've seen, you don't want to leave that run for the 2-point shot too late. You want to try and get on top of it now in the third quarter, rather than putting too much pressure on in the fourth.
Yeah, that's when you're chasing your tail. As Sophie Thorne's back on the court. Look for her to make an impact now after a difficult first half. And let's not forget Tipper Dwan was 4th in the league for super shots last year. So she can shoot them, and Georgie Horges as well knows how to shoot a super shot. 2021 club champion, part of the Australian development squad. And there's someone on screen. 4, and just down goes House. We really felt that one here, didn't we?
Look, there's been some questionable calls, but the thing that the players need to do is you can't change the umpire's mind. And yes, it can be frustrating, but you just got to get over it and get on with the job. Is this a contact? There was a bit of knees in there.
It's hard on the Harvey Norman replay. It's easy for us, but it's in slow mo. Well, there it is. That's obvious. Not so easy in the moment.
I guess Housby was questioning, how did I get to the floor? Because it wasn't my choice to get there.
I often think that, but it's usually because I've tripped over myself. But that's okay. HCF timeout. 3 goals. It was 8. It's back to 3. And don't forget, tomorrow night, the netball comes at you thick and fast. Amy Parmenter of the Giants is on centre circle with Hannah Holler. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We dissect everything from round 4. It certainly does make sense as we've got 15 minutes to go in this one, and after 3-quarter time, thanks to Origin Energy, the Swifts remain up by 3 after 2 drawn quarters. Shani Norder, give us a Norderism. What do you think about what's going to happen in the next 15 minutes?
Oh, it's going to be intense, and it is going to be fiery. I think there's going to be bodies still flying everywhere. But from Tanya Obb's point of view, she said that the defenders really made the Swifts feel uncomfortable at the end of that quarter. So she wants them to keep doing that, and she wants Nankiville and McDonald to work together to keep those short passes happening through the middle of the court.
Thanks, Shani. Really get the feeling that this is the Swifts to lose. They have allowed, to an extent, the T-Birds to get back into this one without taking away from what the T-Birds have managed to do to hang in. But the Swifts have felt like they're in control, and yet second quarter, 10 goals apiece, third quarter, 11 goals apiece. They haven't been able to pull away.
No, they haven't. When the time has come to put the foot down, they've just allowed the T-Birds to come back and feel like they're still in this contest. So if they get that nice little lead, they need to... Oh!
Again, Sterling! That's 4 for the game.
Come down, got a fan.
If they get that opportunity to push it out, they need to do it. Don't keep the opposition in.
Here's the Harvey Norman replay, and it looks like all the other Harvey Norman replays of Shamira Sterling doing the exact same thing to the Swifts shooters. McDonald, top of the circle. Horges forced to look back. Considers shooting from range, does. Great shot too from Georgie Horges.
We see Maddie Proud coming obviously back onto wing attack. Both teams, I think, have started this quarter with their strongest lineups. They're going, how can we get this score happening, ticking over? Can we get back to a decent game play? Always Ali Smith and Nankiville hit the deck hard.
Wing defense.
But they're drawing on their experienced players and probably their strongest lineups to try and get them over the line on this one.
Wilson flies high. I was just looking at the Nissan net points. The Thunderbirds 257, the Swifts 215, but more than half the Nissan net points for the Thunderbirds are coming from their defensive Jamaican pairing at 67 for Wilson and 70 for Sterling. And it's a low-scoring game in terms of Nissan net points because it is so scrappy, and you can see it there at the bottom of your screen. There's not much in it when we're talking about, I think the Firebirds knocked up 600 the other day. In a free-flowing, high-scoring game of netball, which this is not, with 12 minutes to go, and they haven't even together scored all of the goals that the Fever and the Firebirds scored against the Lightning in the first couple of rounds. And there is the match leaders, Hadley 63.
You can see, as you mentioned, Thunderbirds have really got their defensive end on the top of the Nissan net points, where Swifts have more of a collective, even spread.
Yeah. Well, isn't that the story of the Thunderbirds in 2022? Their attacking end doesn't fire as well as it could, but they're safe by their defenders. And if there was 7 Shamira Sterlings, there'd be one. There'd be one team who really wanted one. Hadley proud. Housby, iconic Swifts trio. And Dwan back on, needs this one from range and gets it. Still only 18 years of age from Wagga Wagga. Gets the training partner spot, gets elevated. Plays an hour in the last 2 games, and Taylor Fraser's on as well. The birthday girl.
Wrong Taylor. Other Taylor.
Sorry, Taylor Williams. Sorry.
I'm sure Fraser wants to say that she's 22 today.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow. As we see the replay, there was a pass that was just too sexy.
That's exactly what, obviously, Sterling is aiming to do. She wants you to think that the pass is on, but has full belief that she can get there and intercept it. And she was so close, just couldn't put two hands around it.
3 goals still. Look at that, super shots. Not a single one coming from the T-Birds. And that just shows that they've been really chasing all game, but they haven't been that far enough back to be forced into it. And when they have had a shot, they haven't been able to drain it. So Nankivell, top of the circle on the restart. Horges with the option. Cloud just does enough there to cause confusion. 4 goals apiece, final quarter. Just over 10 minutes to go. Still anyone's as Wilson. 3 times now she's managed to get her hands on it, only to end up out of play. Turner fires it in. And wow, there was some defence there on Ali Smith. Proud quickly to Fraser, circle edge. Through the legs. And again through the legs. Just a couple of nutmegs to mix things up.
And behind the play, Clow and Pogita are having some tight words over that little bit of a shove over here. I think it's a good time to get Pogita off. I think it'd be good to get a moving circle. She seems frustrated. Clow seems quite happy with that she's got under her skin.
I wouldn't like to be Sarah Clow having that South African accent in my ear. It would scare me a little. I'll tell you what now, the Swifts are making some headway, and it's caused the change. Dwan and Horges, as Cloud doesn't quite time her run forward to that ball, and bumps Nankivell. Dwan finds the option, but Fraser equal to the task there. Instead, it'll be Dwan. This is an important goal. Pogita shot number 31, goal number 29.
It's still a little bit low, obviously, for how much I know that she can contribute to this team on the scoreboard. As we mentioned, yes, they're really strong defensively, but when they get that ball, they really need to capitalise on it. Sophie Fawns.
Really making some impact now in the final quarter. 4 nice goals in a row, all from middle distance.
It's like they've just been holding off for those first 3 quarters, the Swifts, and they've gone, all right, we've got to just pull it out right now in this 4th quarter.
I don't like that as a game plan. They should say that at the start. They would win much more easily. And sitting down again is Latanya Wilson, and Matilda Garrett comes back on, the 24-year-old. Signed for a couple of years, so she'll be around in Thunderbirds colours until the end of next year, which is a nice show of faith, I suppose. Tanya Ops has done that with a few players, which is good for Thunderbirds fans as they continue to build these combinations.
Wilson has been getting her hand on some of those balls, but as we see Tilly Garrett get it straight away, that is the luxury they have. Both of those defenders can come on, make a really good impact. Are they 60-minute players? Probably not, but they can make really big impacts when they do come on.
Too long from Pogita. She misses her 3rd as we go down to Shani. How are you seeing this one? We're really getting into the crux of it now.
Oh, we're getting to the crux of it, but as you were just saying with the defenders swapping, but also Sophie Fawn being able to come back on and have an impact in the game, it really does wonders just to be able to sit off and see what's going on, then you can see the space on a different light to when you can when you're out there and actually come on and have a greater impact. But what the Swifts are doing well at the moment is drawing the contact. So, yes, they're putting their bodies on the line, but that allows the Thunderbirds to run into there. But you just cannot stop Shamira Sterling from getting that ball. I'd be going bounce passes in that 3rd only.
Something hectic always happens when you're talking, Shani. I just love it. You just elevate. It's great.
You know I love a defender. I'd sit on the bench for Shamira Sterling.
It'd probably be the only person you would, though. Here is the Harvey Norman replay, and again, Sterling just knows where to place herself, and her timing is just impeccable. This time it's a turnover, though, to the Swifts. 4 goals it is. Nankivell out hunting, but can't pick up the intercept, and down the court go the Swifts. Fraser, the bounce pass comes.
You asked for it.
did not work.
What the Swifts actually really need to do is add in a few more balks. Try and get the defenders off or draw that contact, or give the pass with that less body pressure on the receiver. And you can hear Coach Bryony Akel screaming, use the ball, be a little bit more smarter, and don't put your teammates under so much pressure.
She does look happy, though. She's up and about, Bryony Akel, and happy with what happened in that period of play. Let's listen in, though, now to Tanya Ops, who needs to respond.
Come back in, okay? All right, let's just maintain our composure, okay? It doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't, I know it was rubbish, but it doesn't matter, okay? Yep.
Stand up to him.
Yeah, yeah. Just don't even do, yeah. All right. Correct. All right, we've got the ball. We're going to get the ball. We're going to get the ball. Commit to the process. Trust each other. I don't care about non-sexy passes, little dishes off. Let's get this.
Let's go. Let's put the foot down now. Let's get this. Let's go.
Everyone believes that we can do this.
Yeah. Let's finish off going, guys. What centre pass we're going with? Let's start with overload. Okay, let's go. Remember that 2 words, attitude and effort. Yeah. That's all we need. Let's go. Nice and loud. T-Birds on 3. 1, 2, 3. T-Birds! Let's go.
So Beck Bully, assistant coach, was actually the one to take the huddle then, and why wouldn't she? She's a gold medalist at a World Cup, and she said to the team, girls, I know it's not pretty, but we have to score off our turnovers. It doesn't matter how long it takes, but you're right, they're just so positive. I came out of that huddle feeling so much more positive about commentary, even though, you know, she's so inspiring. She knows what it takes. She knows they need to stay calm. So let's see if her energy can overcrowd the Thunderbirds here.
Really good positive culture in the Swifts, and just that comes from the style of Bryony Akel, and it contributes to the success of the team over the past few years. And when something happens like did to Sam Wallace, they really get around him like they did with Maddie Proud in 2019, come back stronger and win premierships, and that is what has happened as Potgieter, who remains on.
It'll be interesting to see whether they keep her on. In their huddle, she was very frustrated at the attention Sarah Clow is obviously giving her, saying, she's pushing me, and everyone was saying we need to let it go, we need to focus on ourselves, we need to stay composed and commit to our processes. Don't worry about what's already happened, just focus on the task at hand and just delivering each time we have the ball.
5 minutes 40 to go. We're going to see some super shot attempts.
On your side, go attack and contact.
And every time there is a Suncorp super shot, Suncorp do deliver $100.
Offside, offside.
Confident Girls Foundation, they're doing so much for the floods in New South Wales and Queensland. CGF.Raisley.com is the
But it's contacting the fence.
place to go for more information on that one. And it's going to be key in the Thunderbirds comeback, if they do indeed come back. 4 goals. We're going to hear the hooter now. And Fawns from inside super shot range.
Yeah, it's in the back. Got a fence to stand off her.
5 goals, 5 minutes here at Netball SA Stadium. One team leaves with momentum, the other one with extreme disappointment, especially if it is the Thunderbirds, as Fawns comes up with the intercept. And now, as Beck Bully said, they need to honour that with a goal no matter how long it takes. Smith waits, fires it and needed to.
No. Centre, you're out of play. Centre third.
Used all the time there, Proud. Finally finds Housby, and it's 6 goals.
And it's no surprise that they're the names that we're hearing in these final minutes. Taylor Fraser has come on and really been so steady for the Swifts. She's such a great role player for them. She comes on, she's quite steady, but she also has just allowed, I think, Proud to get back into the game as well and just try and dictate that wing attack position and be a bit more of that general.
Contact on the ball. Both out.
Oh, the penalties Wagga represent, well, she's certainly representing
Turn the ball straight away.
in the fourth quarter. Smiles from the crowd. That's the entirety of the Swift supporters in the crowd, just about. As into the pocket goes Nankerville. Another contact call. As time ticks down and gets away from the Thunderbirds. And they will be bitterly disappointed to pair 2 losses with 2 wins. And from range, Horges, they need this and they get it.
She is the one to get them back into the game, as we also see Latanya Wilson come back on. They need to get their hands on the ball, and she's the one to be able to do it for them tonight.
They are going to leave Lenise Potgieter on, at least for now. The Swifts clear by 2. They were up by 3 three-quarter time.
Contact bring advantage offside, centre third. Centre third.
You definitely want to obviously have a crack and try and create those turnovers, but you do need to continue to stay in play and not let that clock tick down and be under the pump.
Advantage contact offside.
Dwan is just, not Dwan, sorry, I keep saying that. Fawns is just finding more space as Horges comes up with it, and this a crucial play now with 2:20 on the clock. And Potgieter, well, she's so deadly from close range, and now for the deficit. And the centre pass.
They need to go for the 2-point shot here. Georgie Horges needs to get into position. There she is. Let it go.
Potgieter goes back. It's about as far out from the ring as we've seen her. And Horges.
Guys, play. Time hasn't started. Play. Time hasn't started.
Umpire trying to get control of the game here.
This is crucial, and she nails it again. 2 from 2 for Georgie Horges, and the gap now 3, the Suncorp super shot. Electrifying the crowd here at Netball SA Stadium as Proud lets it go, and this important possession from the Swifts, a turnover here. They're not willing to go for the 2 points. They need a settler. And the call goes the Thunderbirds' way, and down they come. 1 minute and 10 seconds. Could they steal this from the Swifts, who've been in control throughout? Have not been in front the whole game. 1 minute to go. Horges decides not to go herself. She had a hot hand, but instead they go within 1.
It's quite a strategy that most teams do. Get that 1, get your centre pass back. Let's have another crack at a 2.
Could we be going to extra time for the first time in 2022? The contact call, and look at Potgieter. And now the boos ring around the stadium. A chance for the Swifts to wind down the clock.
This is where Premiers need to stand up. They need to just drain the clock, keep possession, have options, but don't overdo it.
They are going to do it, though. You think so. Short passes. The Swifts find space. 10 seconds to go. And there'll be a disappointed crowd leaving Netball SA Stadium tonight. 5 seconds on the clock. And they're going to run it down. The Swifts are going to go 2 wins in a row. And they do. What an ending. Bryony Akel's happy. Just about nobody else in Netball SA Stadium is.
They're disappointed by those calls, but you can't just wait until the final couple of seconds of a game to expect to win. You need to deliver for more than just that. You got close, but you can't just bring it down to that last call. They had opportunities. How many gains has that defence end given the Thunderbirds to score? But a great fight and a great push right to the end for the Swifts.
Yeah, good game. Swift Street is the team that's even here.
Great work, Swifts. Good luck for the rest of the season. Thunderbirds, 3 chances. Good game.